TMCnet at NextCom 2008.
Good afternoon. Welcome again. I'm Erik Linask, coming to you from Las Vegas, Nevada at NextCom 2008. And it's my pleasure now to be joined by Alcatel-Lucent's president of the IP division, Basil Alwan. Welcome, Basil.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
So can you tell me a little bit about, I guess Alcatel-Lucent recently received an award for FP2 Silicon, and you also announced something around the terabit routing.
Right.
Can you talk a little bit about those?
Yeah, FP2 Silicon is the award was for our new chipset, which is the foundation of our award-winning service routing family, the 7750. So we refreshed the 7750 technology base, which its foundation is a chipset of packet processing, queuing, that allows us to achieve terabit scale routing and switching in a third of a rack. And the reason that's important is that in the high-end routing and switching markets, edge routing, carrier Ethernet, there's a high need for features. At the same time, there's a high need for performance. So that's really pushing silicon technology. And our latest and greatest chipset is really leapfrogged the state-of-the-art, providing 50 gig full duplex, 100 gig in a single chipset.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
And I guess your service routing portfolio is really seeing some considerable success.
Right.
Are there certain markets that you attribute that success to?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, where we see success is really there's been three major phases of routing. Enterprise routing, where Cisco really initially got its foothold. Internet routing was a big change and gave a new entrant, Juniper at the time, a way to get into the business. And the most recent change in the routing market is multi-service routing, or doing multiple services on a common IP MPLS network. And that fundamentally changes what is required of a routing platform. So the 7750 has been successful across the set of markets and carrier markets, wherever somebody's starting to do multi-service applications. So that started in business services with VPN. Mm-hmm. Then it quickly went to consumer services, where they added video and voice on top of data internet traffic services. And then, of course, more recently to mobile services, where the mobile operators are now starting, data is with things like the iPhone, and data is starting to become front and center in the mobile network. So as those transitions are occurring, more and more features and functionality required in the routing platforms, that's when we have an opportunity. Yeah.
Fantastic. And you also recently announced something with regard to BT's 21CN, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right.
Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, no, we announced a big expansion of our role in the 21CN network, which is fantastic. We've been working with BT on 21CN for quite a few years. We had one of the original awards in the 21CN network. We were part of the MSAN, which is the service node in 21CN. And more recently, they've decided to roll us into, we're in about 100 locations now, 106, and we're rolling now into 600 to 1,000 locations. So it's a great endorsement of our MPLS switching platform, the 7750.
What do you sort of see for the future in terms of the success of that project and your role in it?
Well, I think fortunately, we have a great partnership there. I think they're doing some really innovative stuff on that network. So clearly, BT is pushing some real good scale limits, and they're providing a really great service to their customers. I think we'll continue to see expansion of this network. It's going to be really the foundation for all new services, consumer and business services in the BT network. So it's really quite meaningful. Yeah.
Great. There's been certainly at the show this week. There's been an awful lot of talk surrounding carrier Ethernet.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So with regard to that, do you think there's going to be an emphasis on carrier Ethernet based VPN services as compared to, or as opposed to IP VPN?
Well, there's two things to think about here. One is a global service for enterprises to interconnect sites, and you have IP VPNs. Originally, you had frame and ATM. Then there were IP VPNs, and now BPLS and pseudo-wires are also there on the line card of services that our customers can sell. So that is really global Ethernet services, and obviously that's become quite popular. And customers, I think, are interested. Some customers prefer a layer 2 versus a layer 3 service from their carriers. I think carriers have to offer both. Because as a carrier, you have the connectivity, you have the footprint. If a customer wants a different type of connectivity from you, you should leverage your fiber footprint, and you should offer that to them. Carrier Ethernet, though, is generally a term applied more to the aggregation network. So it's a different application of the same technology. And carrier Ethernet is more about, okay, how do we take the large metro networks and bring traffic across those metros into a service node where there would be a global service point of presence. Okay. So carrier Ethernet is clearly a big and growing area, and I think it'll continue to be for years. Yeah.
Now, you say it's growing and it'll continue to grow. What's driving that growth?
Yeah, well, I mean, clearly, since that particular set network, that metro network infrastructure, the aggregation network, is generally carrying business traffic, it's carrying consumer traffic, and now mobile backhaul traffic. All three of those are growing, right? And video is probably certainly the data type that's driving most strongly that trend. So as internet traffic goes up, both the wireline and on the wireless side, and then of course business traffic, they all end up scaling. And as that happens, clearly you have to build a carrier Ethernet infrastructure or a metro aggregation infrastructure that can handle the growth. So it's being driven by all of the services. Yeah.
Is video going to continue to play a major role in service expansion?
I think so, because the thing about video is right now, video is still principally broadcast multicast. And as it becomes more and more of a personalized service, meaning I watch what I want to watch when I want to watch it, not according to a linear schedule, but I decide I'm going to watch such and such a show at this time because I go to a menu and there it is. As that happens, there's a video on demand, as they call it. There's a video on demand concurrency happens. That is, every house, instead of watching one stream at the same time, they're watching individual streams. And that multiplies the bandwidth in the aggregation network. So I expect, not only is video going from SD to HD, and compression technologies are getting better. They're kind of maybe helping that, abrogate that a little bit, help that a little bit. But at the same time, we're getting baud concurrency. So really, the overall trend line on video is only positive in terms of bandwidth growth.
And do you see IPTV also?
Absolutely. I mean, IPTV is a big part of it. And IPTV is a different way of delivering linear, but ultimately is a platform to deliver VOD and all kinds of interesting services. So it's a platform that kind of plays right into those trends, Yeah.
Fantastic. We've been chatting here with Alcatel-Lucent's Basil Alwan. Basil, thank you for joining us
Appreciate
this afternoon.
Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of the show.
All righty. Thanks. Bye.